this is Dwight Braswell, founder of Bunny to Bear. We're helping you go from fear, doubt, and uncertainty to a place of courage, confidence, and conviction so you can live the life that you're meant to live. Now, before we get started, make sure that you're on the VIB list. You're part of Bear Nation. You can simply join by putting your email and your name in at bunnytobear.com. Here's what you'll get. You'll get a free starter guide and a 4-part video training series on how to go from mediocre to the best so that you can be a top performer. Now, let's get started with Motivational Monday. We're talking about how is it even possible to handle frustration like a bear? Now, I'm talking to my salespeople today specifically. So if you're running a sales team or if you're a salesperson yourself, share this in your morning huddle. It's so important. So I'm talking to you. Now, if you're not in sales, this can still apply, but I've got some very strong questions with my salespeople. Number one, how do you respond when you're at the very end of the month, you're talking to the person who's going to make or break your quota? You've been fighting back and forth with this person over and over and over, and they're just about to say yes. Boom, and they decide no. They hang up on you, it's over. You walk out of the office, it's over. You're frustrated. What do you do? What do you do when your team is down? They're under 100%. It's getting close to the end of the month, and they just don't seem to care. And you say, man, I could get on the phones. I could get out in the field and do it myself, but you can't motivate them. No matter what you do, you're frustrated. What do you do? What about if you're the director and you're walking around your sales center, or you're on the phone with your manager, talking to your manager while he's out there in the field with his people, and they just can't get it done? What do you do? Somebody's breathing down your neck and you're frustrated. What do you do? Maybe you have your own startup. You've built a sales team and you walk out on the floor and the managers just don't seem to get it. Kind of mediocre, and you're constantly having to walk around and cheerlead, but you've got 100,000 other things to do, but you are frustrated and it's not coming together. What do you do? You know, frustration can make or break us. It has a lot to do with our success, and it comes from motivation. See, in motivation, we have intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. We know this. Intrinsic is I'm motivated by internal factors, maybe accomplishment or a feeling of success, right? I just feel better, more confident, etc. as I set a goal and I achieve it. Extrinsic is maybe money or a promotion, or I just want to look good in front of my manager, my director, right? But what happens is I set a goal, and then along my goal, all of a sudden I'm pushing, and then boom, I hit a roadblock. Whether it's internal, I just don't feel motivated anymore, or man, it's been back to back days where I have had nothing and I'm frustrated. I have a goal. When I don't achieve it, or there's a likelihood that I might not achieve it, frustration starts to boil, and then it boils, and then it boils. And here's what can happen. We're either going to have a reaction internally or externally. Internal might look like this. I'm at 80%. I've got a week left to get over my quota, and I just can't get it done. What starts to happen is we internally break ourselves down. We start to pull on our own, like, why couldn't you get it? Why can't you just ask for the sale? Why are you talking so much? You don't know that objection handler. What's your problem? Why don't you go out there and prospect more? I hate you. And you start tearing yourself down, and your self-talk becomes very, very negative. This can have a very long-term effect. So we need to stop this. Externally, we know what can happen. Let's say my team isn't performing at a high level and I am so frustrated and I start yelling up and down the aisles, or I'm out in the field and I just start, and what happens is maybe my director or maybe the owner or somebody comes by and sees me in this way and says, well, you know what, I don't think we can consider them for the next level. So we miss out on opportunities. Or maybe we say some things that we didn't mean or we regret. It's very important for us to be able to control our emotions, control our frustration. So whether we like it or not, frustration plays a major role in our success in sales and in life in general. So here are a couple tips to help you get ready for and more positively react and respond to frustration like a bear. Number one, I need you to prepare. Just like if I purchased a home, I love this one. If I purchased a home in South Florida, and hurricane season comes and I'm surprised that my house is knocked over or I've got water up to my ankles, I can't be frustrated because I put myself in that position. Well, I mentally have to prepare if I'm in sales that I'm going to get frustrated. When people say no over and over and over, and if I'm sitting at my desk all day, I have to know that I'm going to be frustrated. If I'm door knocking day in, day out, I know I'm going to be frustrated. So I need to prepare myself for this. If I have a new team, a brand new team, and they've been performing at a C level, I have to prepare myself for frustration. Otherwise, every day I'll hate myself and I'll hate everybody else around me. So it's really a mental check, first of all. So number one is really just having a mental check that I love the people that I'm around. I love what I do. I love being in this position, and I know I'm going to be frustrated at times, but I'm not going to let it control me. And if I go in with a positive mental attitude, a positive foresight that I know it's coming, the storm is going to hit, but I'm prepared, I know what to do. So number two is really preparing those preemptive frustration. What I want to do is I want to preempt frustration. I want to put myself out of harm's way so that I am not frustrated as much as possible. So, for instance, if I know that in the morning, if I set an 8 o'clock appointment and the person does not answer, and that was a for sure sale, and I know I'm going to be pissed for the rest of the day, why am I setting myself up for failure? Why not put it after lunch, or maybe right before lunch, where I know I'm about to go out to lunch with my favorite people to my favorite place, and even if I don't get it then, I'll be okay. So make sure that you don't put those appointments early in the morning. Another one might be to discuss moving up or discuss future opportunities with somebody, maybe a hiring manager, maybe your director, and really put yourself out there that, man, I need to make sure that I control myself, otherwise there's a high-level consequence if I don't. That preempts that frustration, so when it comes, I'm not just letting myself go, I'm saying, oh, wait a second, I'm being monitored right now. I'm under the microscope. I need to control myself a little bit better. So I put a few other ideas in the post today, so make sure you go to bunnytobear.com and you look at the post for some other ideas. But make sure you prepare. Number three is predetermine reactive responses. Look, you're gonna hit frustration, so what do right as I get frustrated? What do? I mean, it's gonna happen. Do I just throw my desk? No. What do I do? So there has to be something, a trigger immediately that happens once I get frustrated. Is it, I'm gonna find a mentor in my building, and the second I get frustrated, I'm gonna go to them and I'm gonna walk around the building. I have a quick conversation with them and let them know, hey, when I'm frustrated, I really wanna connect with you, and just walk around the building to cool off. Maybe I have a 5-minute breathing exercise activity that I run myself through in a quiet room, alone by myself, so that I can get an automatic relaxation. Or, if you're like me, I love motivational videos. I love watching some of my favorite mentors do some videos, and that naturally puts me in a state of motivation instead of frustration. So, I want to create that list beforehand so I'm prepared. When it happens, I just go to that list, I'm ready to go, put my headphones, I'm ready. I'm in that zone, and naturally it takes me out of it, and usually I only listen to 1 or 2 videos so it doesn't demotivate me for the rest of the day. There are, again, several other ideas here on the post. And then finally, I need to evaluate my behavior. I need to become really self-aware of how am I doing with this. If I'm going to really self-manage myself here, emotional intelligence tells us I have to be able to be aware of my activity. So here's what I write. Immediately evaluate your behavior when you get frustrated and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not acceptable, 10 being the ideal response. See, I love that. So if I'm really, really frustrated and all of a sudden I blow up, I want to evaluate right away. How did I respond? Was it, a 1 and I just threw things and I was unacceptable? Was it a 5? Let's say it was a 5 and I kind of walked around and I said something mean to my manager and there's a couple things I want to do. I want to first of all calm down. I want to go ahead and write that down and give myself a 5. I want to pick 2 or 3 things I'm going to do differently the next time I get frustrated. And then I want to say, I'm going to set a goal of 8 next time. I'm going to get to 8, maybe not to 10, but I'm going to get to 8. I'm going to handle this a lot better. See, those 3-4 things put together, preparing, having those preemptive, I got to preempt frustration, having those reactive responses, and then evaluating your behavior will really set you up for success. So no matter what, if you're a rep, if you are out there in the field, if you are a leader, make sure that you're utilizing this with your team, sharing it with your team so you guys together are absolutely in control of your emotions, your frustration, so you're using it for success instead of your deterioration, your lack, you don't want to be broken down. Now, I say it like this: stop living life as a bunny, letting frustration take over, okay? Wake up and be the bear. Take control of your frustration, make it your motivation, and we'll see you at the top. All right, here's to your success. Please go out there, crush your goals. Of course, come back next week and we will be here. Have a great week out there. Take care. And of course, make sure you go to bunnytobear.com, get on that VIB list, become part of Bear Nation, and we'll send you that starter guide and get you those 4 videos to get your performance from mediocre to best. We'll see you next week. Take care.